Steve, update us on what we know about these new details involving Pete Hegseth, Trump's pick for U.S. Defense Secretary.
Yeah, this is an incident that first came to light in the days after Trump nominated Hegseth to become his defense secretary, after a very quick period where he was considering other names and suddenly pivoted to Hegseth. And here's what we are learning from Hegseth's attorney. The attorney said that Hegseth paid a woman who accused him of sexual assault in a settlement agreement that also included a confidentiality clause. Now, this is all dating back to an October 2017 incident, which his lawyer describes as, quote, a consensual sexual encounter. Now, they are also pointing out, and we should point out ourselves, that he was not charged. The city of Monterey, California, where this took place, will not be releasing the full report at this time. We did try to reach out to the victim in this case, and she declined to be interviewed, partially because she was not sure what she was allowed to authorize to say due to this confidentiality agreement. We do not know how much the settlement was for, and we are told by the lawyer that he agreed to this settlement because he was worried about losing his job at Fox News. This all transpired during the middle of the Me Too movement, in which several Fox News high-profile figures were caught up in some of the accusations. Fred.
All right. Steve Contorno, thanks so much. All right, joining me right now to talk more about Trump's transition is Tia Mitchell. She is a Washington correspondent for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Tia, great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So what lengths is Trump going to take to make sure his picks, like Gaetz, can endure scrutiny?
So right now, it's looking like his mode is to put pressure on Republicans, particularly in the Senate, both privately and publicly. He's also floated the idea of recess appointments, basically having the Senate kind of avoid voting on some of these more controversial cabinet picks altogether by allowing Trump to appoint them when Congress is not in session. The question is, will Trump dig in or will the Senate? We've heard from top senators, even Trump allies, who've indicated they want to treat these cabinet appointees like any other, which means hearings, which means committee stops before you get to the floor, which means a vote on the floor. Who's going to give? Because we know that when you bring some of these more controversial picks like Gaetz, like Hegseth, there might not be the votes to confirm them. We don't know what Trump would do then, but we also don't know if there are enough Republicans who are willing to go against who Trump wants to serve on his cabinet and actually vote against Trump appointees.
Oh, we'll get to a little bit of that in a minute too. And I wonder, your thoughts on this, because earlier today, House Speaker Mike Johnson told our Jake Tapper the House Ethics Committee report on Gaetz should not be released because Gaetz resigned Congress. So is it the case potentially that the U.S. Senate will subpoena the report, or at least the committee will subpoena the report?
So that's another question about whether there are Republicans who are willing to side with Democrats, for example, to vote to subpoena the reports, to vote to bring Matt Gaetz in for hearings and questioning, what other people they might want to hear from. There have been, there's precedent for confirmation hearings to bring in, other speakers, other witnesses,
like witnesses,
other character witnesses. Yes, we've seen that with Supreme Court justice confirmations. So there are other things they could do in addition to trying to get their hands on the report. Again, to me, the big question is, are there Republicans who are willing to risk getting on Trump's bad side by, pushing back on these appointees, by pushing to get that report? There's also a question, quite frankly, the more people ask for the report, the more
pressure
of a possibility it leaks.
Right. Okay. And so now more on the who will side with whom. Maybe this is another little window into that, because this morning on the Sunday talk shows, a few members of Congress described, both the landscape on Capitol Hill and navigating it under the incoming administration. Take a listen.
We have a unified government now because of Donald J. Trump. No one else. Donald J. Trump made that happen. And so now it is incumbent upon the House of Representatives and the Senate to look at President Trump's agenda and his mission statement. He's going to have a mission statement. And we do not waver off that mission statement. We follow it, every single word of it.
These people are manifestly unqualified and you know, they're not prepared to run the very complicated organizations they've been asked to run. Well, the Republican senator who votes to confirm Matt Gaetz or Robert Kennedy or Tulsi Gabbard will be remembered by history as somebody who completely gave up their responsibility to Donald Trump.
Wow, huh? So, I mean, will this be a test of allegiance to country or president?
I guess in some ways, yes. But again, we've been here before. We've seen highly controversial picks be confirmed by members of the president's party. And some people felt that it hurt them at the ballot box. Others didn't. And so I think one of the question is, of the senators that we know may have their concerns about a pick like Matt Gaetz, for example, which ones are willing to actually vote against him? Those are two very different things, but they're not just factoring in how they feel about Matt Gaetz and how they feel about President Trump. Some of these senators will be on the ballot in 2026, so they're factoring in how this will play back home. Some of them are in states where voting against Trump may play poorly. Some of them may be in states where voting against Trump actually helps them come across as independent minded. So all of that is kind of part of the calculus. That's why Trump has said, hey, don't vote at all. Just let me appoint who I want during the recess. Now, that also carries risks. You know, it's a lot on the senators' plates, and we're just going to have to see where it shakes out. We're going to have to see which senators really are the ones to watch who may buck the system.
Okay, one last question. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries acknowledges there will be challenges, but he remains focused on important issues. Take a listen.
I've congratulated incoming President Donald Trump, and as House Democrats, we look forward to working with the incoming administration whenever and wherever possible to find bipartisan common ground to solve problems for the American people. That's what the American people want us to do, to deliver real results on the issues that matter. But at the same period of time, we will continuously push back against far-right extremism whenever necessary. We will protect Social Security. We will protect Medicare. We will protect the Affordable Care Act. We will protect reproductive freedom, and we will protect the progress that we've made on having a sustainable planet.
How will this test the unity of Democrats?
Yeah, I mean, I will say that, you know, for the past 2 cycles, the past 2 years, where Democrats have been in the minority, they've shown that they have been able to stay unified. Republicans are the one who struggled to keep their slim majority all on one page, all with the same message. Now, I do think under Trump, Republicans will look a little bit more unified. I think the question now, will Democrats remain patient and remain on one accord as they remain in the minority? I think people are willing to give Hakeem Jeffries time because they do understand that, you know, he's in line to become the first Black Speaker of the House. He's with a new kind of leadership trio that, again, has only been in power about 2 years. But I do think there could be some restlessness if the Democrats are in the minority for much longer. They're hoping to change that, of course, in the midterms in 2026.
All right. Tia Mitchell, we'll leave it there. Great to see you. Thanks so much.